What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be improvising this poster, and I have no idea what it is. I have no plans for it. I've done no prep at all for this video. I just want to go in and see what I can do. So let's go. This is one of those situations where you already know way more about this project than I do. And yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to look for. Let's see. Let's do maybe like some kind of really type of artsy type of one. This is pretty cool. I like that. So let's grab this image here and we'll use this for our base image. And as far as the sizing goes, I think I'll just keep it nice and small. That way it's not too difficult to work with. Do 11, wait, what am I doing? 11 by 17, just in case I decide to sell these. I'll build in that extra bit of margin for the bleed. Drop this in, and I actually really like the composition and her placement there, so let's put her there. I think I'm gonna move her down just a touch. Okay, so I'll just leave that at layer 1 for now, just in case there's anything that I want to add on top of it later. Since we've got kind of these grayish blues going on, I am going to go ahead and desaturate it because I want it to be entirely black and white. And I'm going to go ahead and adjust some curves here. And this, I'm probably not going to spend too much time doing this, because if I add stuff in on top and kind of let those layers blend through, then I may come back and adjust these curves depending on what I'm wanting to do. What would it look like if that's interesting, have her be upside down like that. I could always come back to that. All right, so as far as colors go, I'm thinking maybe maybe something bluish. So let's check out, let's see, blue abstract. And just so you know, I am using Unsplash. This is one of my favorite websites to go grab images. It actually may be my favorite website to grab images from. In my experience and in my opinion, this site has the best that I've seen. I'm looking for something with a lot of detail in it. So maybe like some kind of, I don't think I want to do any water. Maybe some kind of painting. Okay, there we go. That's good. So let's download this one. And it's also got a nice it's got a lot of nice little speckles and things, you know, kind of scattered around. So let's drop this on top. On the very top here, I'm going to rotate this. And I think I might actually rotate this way. Okay, bring that all the way up, and I think that I'm going to bring up some of the curves a little bit. We're just gonna let it apply only to that layer. I want to kind of brighten it up a little bit, and then I'm going to go in and increase the saturation because I really want nice strong blues. Not too much though, because you know you'll start to get all these weird lines and artifacts and everything when you go in and bring up that saturation a little bit too much. I think that I like this overall. What if I did a gradient map on the top? Blues, actually I'm gonna do like a dark like that. Then we can go into some of these lighter blues right here. It's a little bit too blown out. Let's go down a little bit. Maybe like a royal blue. This needs to be maybe a little bit lighter than that. I still want it to be nice and dynamic. Let's adjust this a little bit. I think this needs to be a little bit on the darker side. This is looking cool. And then I'll do like a really light blue on the top. Maybe I'll do something like that. Actually, what if I went into some green a little bit? I think this may be a little bit too dark, but we still want there to be some contrast. Okay, okay, correction. It wasn't dark enough. Okay, so let me see. I think I may actually use a blending mode for this. And lighten is pretty cool. It's really helping to bring out some of those darker levels. I think I might actually just stick with lighten. Okay. And since I'm happy with this, I'm gonna go ahead, you know what? Let me adjust these a little bit, kind of bring them up just a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm gonna merge all of these together, and then we'll throw this over the image. That's pretty cool. I like that. If only those mountains back there weren't in the background. Then, oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. Let's do a little bit of color changes a little bit. I like this. It's kind of going into like a purple type of thing, but I'm not too wild about those yellows. They're a little bit dull down here. So let's see if we can kind of change those up a little bit. Or maybe it could be a simple case of turning up some saturation. Okay. I don't think that difference is going to be the blending mode that I want to go with. So divide is pretty cool. I like that, although it leaves a little bit too much white space here at the top for my taste. So I think that I'm going to, oh wait, let me invert those colors back. There we go. Color burn is pretty cool, but I still want there to be a nice contrast between the two. I like darker color, but I think that I really like lighten a lot, despite the fact that we've got a lot of empty space up here. So, but I think I'll probably go with darker color because I really want to make sure that those two contrast well with each other. All right, let's go into here and go into levels. And I think that I want to, I'm just kind of playing around with these and see what I want to do with this. I'd like to bring those levels up just a little bit, but not too much, because I really want there to be a nice, obvious silhouette there. Okay, I think that that is pretty good. And let's see what else we can find. Already got a nice abstract blue. Let's see if I can just go, let's go to their homepage and see if anything jumps out at us. I'm gonna see if there's anything. You know what? I'm gonna try, instead of abstract blue, I'm just gonna type in abstract. And maybe I'll try to spell it correctly. That's really cool. I like this a lot. Let's add this in. Wow, I love this. I don't think I've never seen this before from this site. Of course, there's a lot of images I've never seen before. I'm gonna try content aware just to kind of squish it down a little bit and see what kind of results we get. We might get some janky results here, but you never know. It might look cool. I've had content aware tool fill, all of these different things give me some really strange results in the past, but also kind of cool at the same time. Okay, so we've got kind of like a surreal type of effect going on here. That's not exactly what I'm going for, so I think I'm going to go into oil paint and see if we can kind of clean up some of those artifacts a little bit. I think we did a pretty good job with it, but what we're going to do, I'm going to try this without making any kind of adjustments. So let's go to the blending modes here. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Lighten looks really awesome. Screen also looks pretty cool. I think what I might do, if I leave screen on there, then I might Oh, that's cool. Color dodge is awesome. I like right here in this area, we've got those nice hot pinks. That's really cool. All right, color dodge I think might be my favorite. Let's just kind of cycle through them to see what else we can come up with here. Ooh, that's interesting. Very, a little bit too abstract. This kind of makes it look like she's being sucked up into a spaceship or something. It's amazing what you can do with blending modes, and like how one can make it look like one thing is happening and another one can make it look like something entirely different is happening. I think I'm going to go with color dodge. That's really awesome. And I think that I'm going to try to see what happens when we apply oil paint to our the bottom layer right there. And just out of curiosity, what happens if we apply it to the girl? Okay, so it kind of I think that I may leave it like that because overall it still has the, it's still obvious what it is, but what it's doing is it's applying the same effect to all of the different layers, making it look like it's all one cohesive unit. So I think I'm going to just stick with that. And one of the things that I tend to do, I really like stars a lot, like galaxies, things like that. So I think that might be my final piece that I lay on top of this. I don't want this to get too crazy, but I want one that's got plenty of contrast. Here, a nice black sky with nice white, bright white stars. That one looks a little bit too explosive, but I think that we can take this one, bring it in. Well, shoot. There we go. Perfect. Sometimes that copy and paste just doesn't want to work. And this is a nice large image of the galaxy, so I don't have to do any kind of adjustments to the size there, which is always a plus. That's really cool. Zoom in a little bit too far there. Let's get at a glance here. And I think linear dodge is looking good. I really want it to be like heavy on the contrast. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so I think that I'm gonna leave it with lighten, because that still gives me the nice darker background here. And lighten and linear dodge are gonna be very similar, but lighten still maintains that darkness in the background. So I'm going to maybe do the oil paint to this one too and see how that turns out. Okay, that really diminished those stars, so let's undo that. And I'm thinking that I think I will do Command J to duplicate that layer, rotate it 180 degrees. That way we double the amount of stars that we've got. And I think I'm going to do it again and do some kind of a blur, like maybe a, let's see, maybe a radial blur, and see what we can do here. Zoom, yep. All right, so that took just a minute, and I'm not seeing too much of a difference. I'm obviously seeing the blur right there, but I'm not seeing too much of a difference. So I think that I'll just get rid of that, and we'll Command J again, and I think I'm going to do maybe a spin blur, just to kind of give it a cooler effect. I don't know what's going on here. I've got a lot of things going on the computer right now, so that's probably why it's giving me some trouble. For the sake of time, I am going to back out of this, and you can also do a spin blur with your radial blur tool, so I'm going to do that. And maybe just 50 for the amount. We'll still keep best quality there. You know, there's all kinds of really cool things that you can do with different blur tools in the blur gallery, and then also under the blur menu option. Really cool stuff that you can do there. I think that since we're working with stars, we're probably not going to see too much change. Yeah, we're not seeing too much change, so I'm just not going to do that. All right. I think this is cool. However, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a brush layer right here, because I'm not too thrilled about the color right here, this gray. So I think I'm going to do something a little bit different here to kind of give it a little bit more contrast in this area. So I'm going to grab my brush tool. I've got a brush layer, and all I'm going to do is just brush over this right here in this area. And then that way it covers up all of the gray, and then we'll blend it using a blending mode. That one's pretty cool. I want it to be nice and light. There we go. I think that darker color is probably going to be the best fit. Lighten is really nice. That although it does take away that silhouette effect, and I definitely want that to stay there. That's interesting, although I wonder if it's a little bit too much. If it's like, you know, well, I guess when I think about it, I don't think that it's too much, because you've got like the mountains in the background, then you've got the sky. So I think that overlay may be the winner there. The soft light will allow a little bit more of that background through. This looks a little bit too cartoonish. Okay, I think we're going to go with overlay. And there was one other one. Let me go back and just make sure. Darker color is pretty cool. Okay, so darker color versus overlay. I think overlay looks better. And soft light looks really nice too, but I think that overlay, it keeps the contrast a little bit better, at least in my opinion. All right. I am pretty happy with this. There's one thing I want to try really quick. I want to see if maybe we can find like a school of fish or something like that. I don't know why. It just kind of came to my mind. That's interesting. Maybe I'll use like a small part of this or something like that. You know, maybe stick it in the corner. Okay, there we go. And let's give it a shot and see what it looks like. Because that's really the whole point of abstract art, right? Just if you have an idea for something, just try it. If you don't like it, you can always take it off. Okay, I think that the placement should be probably around there. I may actually even enlarge that a little bit. Okay, I definitely want it to fill the whole composition here. All right, let's take a trip through the blending modes and see what we can do. It's really interesting, although the focus is very much on the fish, and that's not really what I'm looking for. So why don't we try this? Let's try sending it all the way down. I think there's a possibility that no matter what we do and no matter where we put it, we're probably going to end up drawing a little bit more attention to the fish than the girl. So let's go through and see what we can do here. Not going to spend too much more time on this. Okay. I think that particular image is just not a good image to use for this. Okay. Sorry for wasting your time. Now I'm going to add my signature grain to the top of this. That way it kind of gives it a nice consistent look all the way through, and, you know, makes it look a little bit more like a fine art piece. So maybe 25 on the roughness. We'll go all the way up on the grain, and I'm going to add a vignette. And then we'll change our blending mode to overlay. I'll zoom all the way in so you can see the difference here. So some of these like lighter to mid-tone range areas right here. You can see that nice grain overlay, at least I hope you can. It's a little bit subtle, so I'm going to add another layer so you can see all of that. I'm going to add some noise, maybe not. I think 10 is too little, 20 is too much, so I'm going to go 15. And you can always back this off as well. Soft light gives it a little bit more of a matted look, so I think that I'll go with that. And there it is. I don't know what I'm going to call this. I'll just call it Girl Dancing in the Sea, maybe. Yeah, I am pretty happy with this. I love these colors. And, you know, the beauty of Photoshop is if I ever wanted to come back to this and change the colors at any point, that would be a very easy thing to do. Well, thanks a lot for watching me improvise some abstract art today. That was really fun. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button below. That way it'll keep more videos like this coming directly to you. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.